So last week was the 7-day book challenge, but the week before I mentioned that I didn't have enough vlog clips to create a whole vlog. So the first half of this video is going to be those clips because I didn't want to just toss them away. And then another thing I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to separate anything that's related to animals into a completely separate section. So it'll be like a pet tax or an animal tax section. Because sometimes living out here in the Midwest, we see some cool animals. There's lots of deers that actually just pop up on my property randomly. The other day I actually saw an eagle. I did not get that on film because I was driving, but I saw a bald eagle as it went down to the river, snatched up a fish, and went flow off into the trees. So that was really cool. And it makes me wish that I had like a GoPro that I wore while driving, because that's not the first time something like that's happened, and I have not caught it on film. And I'm very much of the mindset right now, like, you guys are not going to believe what I just saw, because it's one of those things where Pixar didn't happen kind of thing. But things like that have happened often lately. And it's really cool, but at the same time, I have no evidence of it. And so yeah, I'm going to have this separate section that the first half of this video is going to be the week prior to the 7-day book challenge, then the 7-day book challenge, and then the animal tax section. So if you want to skip around, I'll have some timestamps at the bottom just for you guys, because I love y'all. So anyways, welcome to the vlog. Let's get started.
I could be wrong, but it feels like it's a wee bit windy out today. Even the thickets are moving. They don't usually move.
Guess what I just got? I would have done an unboxing, but I wanted to make sure that I got everything because I've heard too many horror stories recently of people not getting all their stuff that they got. So yeah, I wanted to open it all first and look through it, make sure I got everything, and I did. So yay, video coming soon with everything. I am currently sorting all these minis. These minis. I'm putting them up in order by what they're in the book, and I'm fitting them into different slots in these little thingies. It's tedious, it's going slow, but it's going. That's what I'm working on. I think we got a bit of snow last night. Like, hold on. This. I just started trying to clear off. Like, that's a wee bit of snow. It's about 4 inches. Maybe closer to 6. I don't know. I don't have a measuring tape. It's a lot of snow on this truck. Anyway, I think we got a bit of snow. Time to clear it off the rest of the way. I need to get up and moving because today starts the 7-day book challenge. Let's go. Okay. So I kept saying I was going to vlog this week, and I have yet to do it. It is Wednesday. Hello, welcome to the vlog. We are doing the 7-day book challenge this week, and I've done a couple clips, but I haven't really gone much into it. So, welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author. I typically write paranormal romance under my Hegyes, and we're doing a writing challenge this week. We're doing the 7-day book challenge. So, for the 7-day book challenge, the goal, I have a whole video dedicated to what it's about, how it got started, stuff like that. You can find that in the description below. But a shortened version of it, just like a quick recap kind of version, is that it is a writing challenge where we try to write a project in a week, from start to finish. So I usually do, lately I've been doing short stories. I've done novels, I've done novellas. I'm not a poetry person, so I haven't done that. Maybe someday in the future that might be a good challenge to do, but for now I'm working on short stories because I have a 49 story universe, which is 7 series of 7 stories each, that I need to complete, and I'm still on series 1. for the 7-day book challenge. This time I'm working on story number 4 and possibly 5, probably 5 at this point, because we're 3 days in and I've got about 2,000 more words to write in this 4th story and I'm done with it. So 4 and 5, I'm going to go ahead and just preemptively say that. My original goal was just to finish 4, and I was like, I would like to get a good head start into 5, and looks like that's going to happen. So yay me. So I'll come back on here definitely and like update you guys when I finish book 4. And I say finish loosely because I've hit the point with this series that I'm not writing the epilogue until I've finished writing the next book in the series, because the epilogue always features the character who's going to be the main character of the next series. And too many times, this actually only started recently, the stories have changed so that the epilogue that I wrote previously no longer matched. So I'm going to finish up 4 until the epilogue. And then I'm going to write story 5, and then I'll go back and write the epilogue for story 4. 1 is done. I need to go over it one more time after having some beta feedback, and then it'll be complete and ready to go. 2 is done. I do want to do another rewrite. 3 is done. I will be going through and doing another rewrite / edit. I think that one's actually pretty solid for as much trouble as story 3 gave me. I actually think it's one of the strongest ones after 1. I think 2 needs a little bit of work, even though it's like draft 5 or 6 of that one. At least it feels like that. But 3 I actually think is fairly solid. I've had several, technically it's draft 3 that I have that I'm going to be going over, because it was one of those projects where I wrote, got halfway through, didn't like the story idea, started over, wrote, got halfway through, didn't like the story idea, and started over again. But each of those story ideas have been different. And so while this is draft 3, it's a completely different story idea. And I think it's the strongest. So even for being a first draft, which says a lot. So that's fun. And then I've got story 4, which is the one I'm working on now. I'm working on draft 2 of that because I originally wrote it last year. That's a long, convoluted story. I think I've had a vlog where I went over that in more detail. I have had a few vlogs where I've gone into more detail about the Serenity universe. But I think one of my more recent ones, I will link in the description, tells you basically the whole history of the Serenity universe and how it works. And then, so now I'm working on story 4. I am nearly finished with that. I've got one more chapter to write. The first 2 days of the 7-day book challenge, let me pull up my tracker and I can tell you exactly how much my word counts have been, because I've been doing really good on that. The first day I wrote, let me get down to the date. Let's see, 4,096 words for day 1. And then on day 2, I wrote 5,573 words. Yes, 5,573. Yeah, I can read. And both of those were in the same story. I'm really proud of what I've done. The 4th story is sitting at 9,696 words. In the end, it's going to be roughly between 12 and 13,000 words, and that includes the epilogue. So that's why I say I've only got about maybe 1,500 more words to write total before the story is finished. At least this portion of it, without the epilogue. 1,000 to 1,500 words. And it's the last chapter from the male character's point of view. That's what I have left for this story. And then it'll be done, and I can move on to the next one. That being said, 3 and 5 are the ones that I thought were going to give me the most trouble. So I don't know how far we're going to get into story 5. I have been getting some ideas, and I did post a video, I think last year, where I asked for some more ideas, and I need to go find that video. If I didn't put comments that were left for me in the notes of that story, I need to go find that video and get those notes that were left for me, some ideas that were left for me, so that I can figure out what I'm doing with that story. I have a general idea of where that story is going, but kind of like story 3, it's very loose-ended, whereas like when I finally get to it, 5 and 6, or no, 6 and 7 will be very easy for me to get through, because I know the plots of those. 5 is going to elude me, and it's going to be fantastic. So that's where we stand with that. I did have an interview this morning. I think it went well. I was told pretty much that I was probably going to be hired, which was great. I was nervous going into the interview, but I do know the person that was interviewing me, so it's not a big deal. small town, everyone knows everyone kind of thing. And I got myself a celebratory drink during that time. It is a mocha with brown sugar. I'll put something in here that tells what it is. I'm not a big coffee drinker, and so like I've been asking people for some suggestions of coffees they like so that I can try different coffee drinks, because I don't know what coffee is. And Starbucks, every drink I've ever had from Starbucks tastes like mop water. I've mentioned that a couple times in different videos, but so I'm trying different coffee drinks. And this one's not bad. Not bad. That being said, I did try another one that I liked. This is the third one I've tried that's not bad. I've had one that I just didn't like at all. And I wish I am now keeping a log of the drinks I tried. The first three, I remember one of them was something Hawaiian or something Hawaiian. It had Hawaiian in the name. I don't remember what it was. It was some kind of salted caramel drink. It was okay. It was actually better cold than it was hot. Like I let it sit too long, and when I let it sit too long, it tasted better when it was room temperature versus when I first got it and it was hot. This one's some kind of mocha drink with brown sugar, I think. And I got a couple more drinks I need to try that people suggested to me, but the one I've tried that I like the best so far was I think it was a regular mocha with extra chocolate syrup. Because I'm a very big fan of chocolate, that was like perfect for me. But I've got a couple more drinks I'm going to try before I go back to that one, just in case I find something better. So if you have a coffee drink that you like, that you think I might like, as someone who does not really like coffee, let me know. So, I think that's all I've got to update you guys on. We will be finishing Burned Cold today. That's the 4th story. I will be finishing that today, at least up until the epilogue. I might even go ahead and write a first draft of the epilogue, because I know roughly where that story is going to start. But, with the knowledge that probably won't stick. So, I'll go ahead and probably write it just to say I did and to finalize the story and say it's done. The first draft is done. But I'll have the knowledge that the epilogue will probably change in the end. We'll see. But that being said, I have done a lot of work. I have an hour until my next live stream. That's actually where I've done the bulk of my writing for the past 2 days, is during my daily live streams. I am streaming a lot longer, and the sprints are longer than I usually do. So that's helping. But before I get started on that, I have some journaling and some planning I want to do. My daily planning, I want to mark off some things that have already been done today. And then I'm going to get set up for my stream, and we'll stream. So I'll check back in later after the stream is done. Maybe you might not get another update from me until tomorrow. Let's be real. Let's be real. I'm bad at updating. I'm bad at vlogging. I am getting back in the groove. I'll get there eventually. If there's any kind of particular videos that you guys are looking forward to that you guys would like to have in the future, let me know. They may come in as vlogs, or they may come in as sit-down talking videos, because I've got my talking videos planned out for the rest of the year, but I'm also willing to switch them out if there's something else you guys want to have a specific video about. So let me know. Anyways, I'll check in with you guys later. Don't mind me. I mentioned in my live stream yesterday that I was starting not to feel well. It's official. I am sick. I'm debating canceling my live stream, actually, because I am having trouble talking because my throat feels like glass shards are shredding it. But I'm sitting here eating breakfast while I'm waiting for my video to finish uploading, because I didn't work on it last night because I went to bed. And I'm eating scrambled eggs with rotisserie chicken, some salsa, and some tortilla strips, because I needed something crunchy in it, and we didn't have any Doritos. And I'm watching Renee's newest vlog because I got tagged in it. I'm so behind on videos. I have to play catch up. There's like almost 200 videos on my watch later list. Yay. So I still gotta do that. And then yeah, I think I'm gonna cancel my live stream. Luckily it's Thursday, so I think Tamara is streaming, so I am going to point everyone over to her channel to stream. And I'll still be writing. I can't talk. So yeah, fun stuff. I love it when I'm sick during my planned stuff. But luckily I made it through the interview yesterday before this happened, so I guess silver linings. Alright, I'll check in later when I'm feeling a little bit better and maybe have some drugs in my system. So a final recap of this week, as you're watching me edit a video that will come out on Thursday, is the fact that I was spending the week doing the 7-day book challenge. I was working on story number 4 in the Sultry Solstices series. This is the first series in a 7-series universe where each series has 7 short stories. So in the end there'll be 49, and I'm still working on the first series. I'm on story number 4, which is Burned Cold. My plan had been to work on both story 4, Burned Cold, and story 5, Isolated Tranquil. But about middle of the week I got sick, and I finished up Burned Cold up until the epilogue. And I mentioned in this vlog that I decided not to work, or I was probably not going to work on the epilogue because it featured the main character who was going to be in the next story, and I knew I was going to struggle with the next story. So in the end, I decided not to work on story number 5 just because I knew how much brain power I was going to need in order to actually work on it. And I got pretty good work done on story number 4. I finished it up until the epilogue. So it is essentially done except for the epilogue. And I will write that epilogue as soon as I finish story number 5, which I know I'm going to struggle with. I spent the rest of the week alternating between editing videos and just brainstorming other projects. I even actually had an idea pop up in my head for Damned and Desolate, the first in the Damned and Dangerous Quartet. The first 2 are published, but I have talked about wanting to do a rewrite on them recently. And I had an idea to expand upon a scene that was in the original version that's published that I think will work and flesh out a scene and develop a character more when I go to do that rewrite. So I ended up even brainstorming that idea. But otherwise, I just edited videos and I brainstormed projects, and I did not end up working on story number 5 at all. I didn't even look at my notes or go looking for notes, that, as I mentioned in a previous vlog clip. So that is fine and dandy. I did end up also canceling my live streams Thursday through Saturday through the rest of the week. I just was too sick to do them, and it wasn't even the fact that I felt bad. I was a roller coaster of a week as far as like how my sickness went, because that first day I had like a scratchy throat. The second day it felt like glass shards had been shoved down my throat, that my throat was just so sore and icky, as you could hear in the clip. And then the following day, I think it was Thursday, I had no voice at all. One of the days I had no voice at all. And even after that, there were other symptoms that kept appearing randomly. Like, I would have periods where I would feel fine, and I was like, let's do this, let's go, let's work on the things. And then other days I just felt like dog crap. And it worked out because on Friday, I luckily I did not get sick until after my interview, which was great. That worked out well. I did end up hearing back from the job, and I got sent onboarding information, and I will be going through the onboarding process next. And then I've got to go in and actually give them my ID and social security card so they can scan that for their records. And then I got to get a start date. So hopefully soon I'll have a job. But until they actually give me that official start date, I'm not going to count my chicks before they hatch, because anything and everything could screw it up at this point. They're actually currently running a background check, which should come up clean. It should. I don't think I've done anything that I know of, but you never know I don't even know exactly what they're looking for as far as background checks. Some jobs look for more stuff than others, and it varies. So we'll see. But again, until they give me that start date, I will not count it as a actual having the job thing. There's just too many other factors that could weigh in and change their mind, basically. And then it also worked out because my oldest had prom on Saturday, and I was going to be the one driving them back and forth. So I did a lot of driving on Saturday, so sick or not, I was still going to have to drive a lot. And I did end up doing all that driving. And a lot of that driving was during the same time I would have been streaming for this 12-hour marathon. So I guess it was a good thing I canceled that stream. And the other thing that happened is that my daughter has been dealing with an infection on her toes, both of her big toes, for a couple of weeks now. She only informed us about it a few days ago, and we've been trying to treat it at home. But on Thursday night, she actually dropped something on her foot, and because of all the swelling and the infection, she actually started bleeding. And so on Friday, as soon as she got out of class, I took her to the doctor. We got her seen, we got her meds, and already the swelling has gone down, the redness has gone down, the infection is clearing up. So I wish she had told us about it when it first started, but we know now, we're getting it treated. And so everything has worked out with me not streaming for multiple reasons. Am I still a little sad because my plans were ruined? Yes. But I still am very happy with the work I managed to get done during this week. And I have plans moving forward on how to continue being active and getting work done. I've actually already made a schedule for myself, and in next week's vlog, you'll see some more of that. The next clip you're going to see after this is actually a funny one. I originally had not meant to put in a vlog, but it was just too funny to not to include. And then there are some tidbits that will hint at what you'll see in next week's vlog. So enjoy that. But yeah, while it didn't go the way I planned or the way I wanted, it did work out for the best. Does it suck that I spent most of the week sick? Yes. I think one of the things I'll do moving forward as well with the 7-day book challenge is it never fails looking back or thinking back. I think every time I've tried to do long streams, daily long streams, I have gotten sick because I've lost my voice, if nothing else. So I think in the future I need to prep around that a little bit better. Maybe not do as long of streams, maybe cut them down to, hey, we're going to do 2 sprints and that's it, and some chit chat in between, not a ton. Or I need to actually make sure I have a guest on screen with me so I'm not doing all the talking, because I think that was a lot of the problem in the fact that I did these 4 to 5 hour long streams on a daily basis. And because I was the only one on screen, I was doing all of this talking. And then there was also the stress with the job interview and looking for a job and stuff like that. So like there was other factors as well, but combining all of it together, I think is what made me come down sick. And this is not the first time where I've been sick during a 7-day book challenge, which is why I am leaning most of it towards the fact that I was streaming for so long and doing so much talking. So that's something I need to really sit down and have a good think about in the future as far as like how I'm going to proceed, because I really do enjoy doing daily live streams for the 7-day book challenge. It's just that they don't like me. So I need to figure out what to do to fix that, basically, is what it comes down to. And I think the best thing for me moving forward is to do shorter streams or have a guest on stream with me and do something like that. I don't think I can continue doing hours-long streams where I'm the only one on screen talking. Even if a lot of the is taken up by sprints, there's still more talking for me to do in between the chit-chat, because I like to go through all of the comments in between every sprint. So something's got to give is what it comes down to, and I just don't know what that something is yet. But it's things for me to think about, because the next 7-day book challenge should be in June. More to come on that later. I try to do them once a quarter, so the next one would be in June. But yeah, thank you all for joining me on this adventure. Thank you all for joining me, everyone who joined me on the live streams for the 7-day book challenge. There was a lot of new people, and I enjoyed having it. A lot of those people are people who are usually streaming during the day versus the night, and that's a lot of what that factor is, because I'm definitely more of a night streamer. But yeah. All right, everyone. I think that about wraps up this vlog, and yeah, I will see you all in my next vlog. Enjoy the next clip, which is originally not meant for a vlog, but I thought it was too funny not to include, and gives you kind of a hint of what's going to come next week. So, all right. So the reason I'm done with my weekly planning is because I've got this schedule, which I'm going to try this week, at least until I hear back about job-related stuff, which is awesome. I didn't mean to fling it onto the floor. Oh well. But then for my actual planning, I just took some of my stickies for the different goals that I have and put them on here. I listed out what's on those stickies just in case I lose these accidentally, because like sometimes they don't always want to stick. And then I put down like the important things, like everything that's important is happening tomorrow that I can remember off the top of my head. And then I just did like what project I'm working on this week for the main thing, notes, the fact that it's my birthday and my dad's birthday, the habits, which I have done a terrible job of tracking the past few weeks. And then for the 23rd, I wrote that it's our birthdays, and then I basically took from that that schedule and wrote down my tasks, plus the fact that I want to take a shower, and then I have a dentist appointment. I was basically adding whatever daily tasks that need to occur on there as well. So I actually didn't do much. I thought about filling this up, but last week when I did that, it was the first time I'd done that, and I got sick, and I don't want to do that again. So basically what I'll do is every day I'll fill this out based on what needs to happen that day, and whatever I don't accomplish this day, I will move over to the following day, like say I don't take a shower, but I take it on Tuesday kind of thing. And then anything extra I do that's specific, I will start like a list down here at the bottom, or like the lower half, and just start listing those. Otherwise, if it's something from this list, I will mark it through with a highlighter, which is what I did kind of last week. Did I put this in the wrong place? I fucking put it in the wrong place. I'll have to move it. So this was this week. As you can see, I didn't mark off anything from this, or this. I did that one, job interview, but I stopped marking everything off, even though I did pretty much accomplish all of this. But yeah, this, and this, I didn't even look at this planner. And then I marked all of this down tonight while I was doing this plan. And then this was the extra stuff that I did today. So I wrote that down here. I'll probably start it a little further up in case, like, that says gaming session. It took up 2 lines. Clean table probably should have taken up 2 lines to not be written so funky. But anything extra I do that wasn't originally planned will go down closer to the bottom. So, yeah. That's how I'm doing it.
Jester, what you doing? Do you want to go outside? Did you finish eating? Are you guys done eating already? You got your dragon? One of them, one of the 2. Ogre, did you finish eating? I guess it's a yes. Jester, did you finish eating? All gone? All food all gone? Is it time to go outside? Is it time to go outside? I guess so. I am surrounded by animals. There is 2 there. There is one on my lap. And there is one to my right. She is using my leg as a pillow. Actually, no, she's not. She's got her head up against my hip. My legs are down on the floor, but they are asleep. My feetsies are asleep. Why must you use my hip as a pillow? And why must you use my lap as your own bed? I need to get up. I need to potty. I have been catted. I can't get up. Oh no, this is where my life ends.